So we're going to trust her now that she said something. Aval hacha b'leisagid layamra. Over here, by the Bechar, he needs to say something. Oh, I have to say this differently. We're trusting him not that the mum that's in there is a mum, because someone tested. We're trusting him that he didn't put the mum there. He says a mum imai. He says that the mum happened naturally. That's what we're trusting in. He shows up with the Bechar. He says that the mum happened naturally. So over here, he needs to discuss this because we need someone to testify that this is really, not testify. We need a chacham to look at this and to ascertain that this is really a mum that's acceptable. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have a way out. This is like he's going to the doctor. He's got to tell him the truth. He could have said it's not a Bechar. He could have said that it's not a Bechar.
So he didn't need to know. Didn't need to know the mum is
But we don't trust him. That we do trust him that he won't eat from a Bechar. He won't shech the Bechar that doesn't have a mum. We don't suspect that he's going to eat kachim bachutz. There's one thing that we suspect. Is that he's going to put the mum there on purpose, intentionally. So he comes in front of us and he says, I have a Bechar, and this is the mum that was here naturally. Mm. So could he have not told us anything? The answer is no, he had to tell us something. Why? Because he needs the chacham to look at it to tell us that it's a mum. Mm-hmm. So over here he doesn't really have a peshasar. He has a peshasar. We didn't know it was a Bechar. Without him, now we should trust him that he didn't put the mum there, but since he needed to ask the question, is this an acceptable mum? Because he wouldn't have shechted it unless it's an acceptable mum. Mm-hmm. So it really, he's compelled to give us that information.
He's under duress.
Yeah. So he wasn't giving He wasn't giving the information, just offering the information on his own. And therefore we have to trust him in the full story, but he needed to give us some of this information. The kachim b'chus le'yochal, ema loy, ema, how do you read that? Ema loy hapesh aserhu, ema loy. It sounds funny. Aval hachat le'sagid le'yamr, the kachim b'chus le'yochal.
Ema loy hapesh aserhu. It's not a pesh aserhu.
Loy hapesh aserhu. It sounds funny, isn't it? Emaloi.
Emaloi Peshasa. It's not a Peshasa. Maybe he's not believed here because he has to have some sort of problem to allow it.
Oh, you have to do it like that. Yeah, you have to add in extra words, like they says. Emaloi HaPeshasa or HaPeshahiteru. Right? It's not a Peshasa or HaPeshahiter. Right? So, Kamash Malan, it comes to teach us that no, in this case, it is anyway a Pesha. It's a big Chiddush. The Mishum Hachi, if we didn't trust him, that he puts mum in, and he's the guy that puts mum in puts a blemish in a Bechar. If that's what he would do, so then why does he need to put a blemish in? That's a type of blemish that needs to be asked to the Chacham. He could have put a blemish in that's so recognizable, he cut off a leg or something, that he doesn't need to go to the Chacham. Mum adinikar v'achale. You could have put in an obvious mum, and he didn't do that. Why, if he was the type to put a mum in, maybe the animal rights person, then he wouldn't be shechting it. So, he would have been vegan. So it must be that he's telling us the truth. Maskav Lamar Baravashi. Mar Baravashi has a question. Maishnam Yahu Gavra. This is a Gemara B'Metzia, right? What's the difference from this person? The Oigele Chamra Lechabre. He rents a donkey to his friend. The word Chamra could mean donkey or wine. I guess Chamara is a donkey. Wine.
Chamra.
They said, how can you tell the difference? That it depends what type of kick you get out of it. That's the...
Yeah, so
Chamar
wine.
Medina.
It's Aramaic.
It's cute. The Amar Lei, so he rents a donkey from his friend, and the owner says, "Like Tezel Borcha de Nahar Pekaid, don't take it on Nahar Pekaid because the Kamaya, there's water over there, it could slip. You don't have permission to go on that road. Zil Borcha de Narish, the Lekamaya, go on the road of Narish. It's another road. Also Borcha de Nahar Pekaid. The guy must have been a teenager. He says, I do this all the time. Don't worry about it. I can take it on Nahar Pekaid. I know how to drive this thing. It's not going to slip. Miss, it dies. Huh?
Taking a 995.
Right. And the animal dies. Miss Chamra, the Chamara, the animal died. Va'asa, he comes in front of the guy. Va'amrlei ba'archa de Nahar Pekaid Azli. You should know, tell you the truth, I didn't listen to you. I went on Nahar Pekaid. However, you should know that you were wrong. Because Umiya Maya Lehavi, there was no water there.
How did it die?
It died naturally. He's claiming it died naturally. So he admits to the violation, but he says that it didn't die because of that reason, because it's slipping in water. Died naturally, whatever. V'amarava malal shaker. If he wanted to lie, yibayam berchanar shazli. No one knows which road he went on. He could have said he went on the other road.
So this is more than the mitzvahs.
Yeah, we don't. Moed mitzvah has a special halacha of a shvua that if someone said
It's the same kind of thinking.
well, it's called migu. Migu.
Migos.
Migu.
Okay.
It's called migu. Migu is if the guy wanted to lie, he would have said a lie. That's a better lie. If now that he's telling you something he's admitting to something, it must be he's saying the truth, right? That's the. V'amar Abaya says no. We don't say a migu b'makam. If I have witnesses that are testifying something, that this guy is wrong, and this guy is testifying, this guy is admitting to something, but in his admitting, he's also saying something else, and if I'm going to believe him, for one thing, I should believe him the whole thing, so which one is stronger? The migu or the testimony? So Abaya says, the testimony of the witnesses is stronger. So here, water by Nahar Pekaid is such an obvious thing that's almost like there's witnesses. He's claiming that there was no water in Nahar Pekaid. And why should we believe him? Because he has a migu? It's a migu b'makam edim. It's not that we actually have edim, but it's as if there's edim. It's like a non-sadi. It's as if there's edim, that there's water there. That's a dangerous road. It's a slippery road. So Baya says you can't believe him over here. He's telling you such a thing that's so against the obvious, that doesn't work. Hachiasht. So we're asking over here that what's the difference between what Abaya says here, that Mali l'shakir b'makam edim, that I don't say amigu b'makam edim. I don't believe him that there's no water on the Nahar Pekaid. I don't believe him that. In our case as well, by the mum, we're trying to believe him that he doesn't put a mum in the, but Kayanim aren't believed for this.
Like Adam.
It's as if there's Adam, because Kayanim do this. You're trying to tell us that we should believe him that he didn't put the mum in, but it's such an obvious thing that he did put the mum there. We shouldn't believe him for just for the fact that he's told us it's a bechar. Gemara says 1 second. Hachi hashta, we'll hold it. Hasam vada yikamaya. Over there's definitely water on the Nahar Pekaid. However, hacha here, vada shada beimuma. You have to say it. Vada shada beimuma chshashu. Did he definitely put the mum there? No, we don't trust Kayanim, but that doesn't mean that he definitely put it there. Chshashu, but makom chshash amrin malal shakir. If it's just a suspicion, we can say malal shakir. We can say that he's the one that told us the testimony that it's a bechar. We should also believe him that he didn't put the mum there. Yosef Ravina v'kamalai shmaitza V'loi Gavra. Ravina was saying this over, but he didn't say it with the names. Amalei Rava Zuti Ravina. The small Rava said to Ravina, Anan Mishmeid Rabbi La Masninala. We were taught this in the name of Rabbi La, which that's the way we have it. That a person is believed to bring an animal and say that I'm the one that says that this is a Bechor and the mum came here naturally. Next Gemara is a very odd Gemara, but it's interesting, very interesting, and also interesting that we're learning it today. Reb Tzadok Havali Buchra. Reb Tzadok, he had a Bechor. Reb Tzadok was a Kayan, I assume. That's why Reb Tzadok a Kayan, right? So he became famous like that.
Yeah. No.
No, that's why the title. I think the title became like that. I think. In his days, there was a Rebbe, Reb Tzadok HaKayan, a Chassidish Rebbe.
Mm-hmm. What did he write? The Tzidkas Tzadok?
Yeah, and Pre-Tzadok, many Svarim. But in his days, they just called him the Kayan. They would never, like the Alter Rebbe, no one would ever say his name. They just said the Rav. It was just but by the Reb Tzadok HaKayan, they just said the Kayan. So, this is 2,000 years before that. But Reb Tzadok is the one that fasted for the temple not to be destroyed. So, Havali Bukhari had a Bechar. And Ramalei Sare Besale, he had barley in a basket. And, how do you read this? Nasrei, Kaile, Aruba, Arava, Kalufa. Do you have a translation of this brackets?
Woven baskets made of
Peeled willows.
Mm-hmm.
Peeled willows. Yeah, so apparently it was sharp. So the barley in the basket, when the animal's going to eat from it, it's going to cut its lip on it. Badi the kacha lives as sifsei. I don't know. It got a mum because it was eating it and it cut its lip. Also, Lakami de Rabbi Shua. It comes in front of Rabbi Shua. Amalek, he asks Rabbi Shua, Klim chilakna ben chaver la'amaretz. Now, it says that the Kayan is not trusted. But is there a difference? Was that only said referring to a Kayan Amaretz? What about the Talmud Chacham? Or a Chaver? What about a Chaver? You don't trust the Chaver either? Is there a difference between Kayanim? Or is all Kayanim suspected over here? Because he wants to say that he didn't put the mum in there on purpose. He didn't do it directly. The animal was eating in it. Amalei Rabbi Shua, hey, there's a difference. It's not a problem. Also, Lakami de Rabbi Gamliel. He comes to Rabbi Gamliel. I don't know why he says this. Amalei Chinlaknu ben Chavel Amaretz. Is there a difference between which type of Kayanim? Amalei Rabbi Gamliel Lai. Gamliel says no. There's no difference.
So he's not.
So now he has a psak against him. He already had a kula. Amalei Rabbi Shua Amalei Hain. Rabbi Shua told me yes. Amalei Hamton li ad sheyala bali chisin the base of medrash. Wait until the bali chisin sounds like soldiers, but wait until the Talmidei Chachamim come into the base medrash and we're going to fix this. Even shenichas to the base medrash amad hashoyel v'shal. So the shoyel gets up, Reb Tzadok, and he asks, Kalim chilakna ben chavel amaretz. Is there a difference by a bechor balmon, if the kayan that brings it in front of us is a chaver, or if he's an amaretz? An amaretz, of course, you don't trust. Maybe he did it on purpose. But if he's a chaver, someone that's more careful, maybe he didn't do it on purpose. Maybe it happened naturally. We should trust him. Amle Rabbi Shua lav.
He retracted.
Rabbi Shua says no. There's no difference.
He didn't want to embarrass himself.
So Amalei Rabbi Gamliel calls him out. He says, hein. I was told in your name that you paskin differently. We were told that you said that there is a difference between kayanim. Some kayanim you trust, some you don't. He says, Yeshua, Maidal Raglecha, Yeshua, stand up. What's that, Aleph?
I walk in for the first time into Yeshua and I hear that you don't trust Al Kahanim.
You're Kayan? You're Kayan?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Then you shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a Gemara for you.
Well,
Why? What's it talking about?
We don't trust you at all.
V'yidibach, and testify about your opinion.
Unless you're a Talmud Chacham, then we can trust you.
Possibly. Taisha takes out v'yidibach. Rabbi Shua Amad al Raglav. Rabbi Shua stood up. V'amrei, hey Chesed, what should I do? If I was alive and that person was dead, I could lie about this. However, I can't lie about this. He's standing right here, the person that testified. Rabbi Gamliel was standing and giving the speech. Rabbi Shua Amid al Raglav. Rabbi Shua is standing on his feet. Until the people were so upset about this. They told the Meturgaman, the person that would announce the shir, they said to stop giving the shir, stop speaking. They had to stop the shir. They, out of the respect that Rabbi Yeshua had to stand the whole time. The reason why this is interesting is because the Gemara Brachas has a similar story, and over there the Gemara is much more dramatic. Because over there the Gemara says, if Rabbi Yeshua said that Tfilas Arvis is chayv, he said secretly that it's chayva. Rabbi Gamliel held Tfilas Arvis is rishus. He calls him out in shir. What do you say about Tfilas Arvis? He says it's rishus. He said, but you were testified. We know that it was. You said that it's chayva. He said, if the person wasn't here, then the Gemara concludes. And that Talmud that asked this, Vaisi Talmud, Reb Shimon ben Yochai.
Oh.
That Talmud was Reb Shimon ben Yochai.
Oh, was it?
So over there it keeps you in suspense until the end. Over here it tells us right away that it's Reb Tzaddik. But over there it has like this.
Well, it's a question on Rabbi Tzaddik. Why would he say Lashon Hara? Why would he do all this? He's
and over there, Reb Shimon ben
Yochai is also doing. He's basically stirring the pot. It's like Lashon Hara.
Over there I have an explanation. Over here I don't have the explanation.
The reason he was standing is he wasn't
No, I think the students would be sitting in their places, and they made him like sort of like stand in the corner. Like they took away his seat because he was being mistreated.
And then also the Gemara Rosh Hashanah.
With
Told
the
him
right.
to come on Yom Kippur.
Right.